You call him an alpha male or a beta male and challenge his because I hate that alpha male thing.
If I ever hear somebody call somebody a beta male, I'm a cry.
But you shouldn't alpha male is such an asinine thing to say.
He's a beta.
But you stupid. But she really do become an am like that.
That would be a catastrophe.
She really do become, and I'm just like, y'all. Why do y'all feel the need to challenge people's masculinity like that?
I'm gonna call somebody a beta at some point.
Oh my god,
you're a beta, bro. That would be terrible.
Oh my god.
Terrible.
Babe, pay attention. You're tired.
I'm exhausted.
You're tired.
I am delusional. But I am going to steal it. I'm going to just call like one of my, stop acting like a little beta.
Oh my God.
Beta ass.
Hey my loves, welcome back to our channel. We are back after a brief hiatus. Thank you so much for joining a long hiatus. Thank you so much for joining us again. I'm Intisar. This is my beautiful husband Joe. Thank you so much for coming on back and joining us again. I guess we could be relatively transparent. Joe was on tour.
Yeah.
And we tried to film, but I wanted to give you guys just like a brief update about where we are and what's going on in our lives, because you usually go on tour.
Yeah,
and it's typically, and honest, the truth of the matter is, previously in our life, Joe was probably touring 6 months out the year, right? Mm-hmm. Like on and off throughout the years, about 6 months. And recently, we've grown a lot together, and this was a really hard time, specifically for me, to be apart from Joe. I just had a lot of transition in my life. Too. Yeah.
Harder than normal.
So the truth is we were prioritizing being close to one another and kind of taking a break from like our social responsibility just so we can make sure we kind of keep up our connection.
Yeah, and it was a crap show in terms to not curse. It was a crap show of a schedule.
Yeah.
So this was not only hard emotionally, but logistically, it was a mess of a schedule. So
when we could get on the phone and talk, it was really just about us at that time. So we're both going through like some transitions, and I think we just needed to support one another through that. So that just meant us kind of taking a bit of a step back, but not a step away, just a bit of a step back so we can make sure that we're locked in. So when we come back and we talk about other people's relationships, our shit is all right. Okay? Mm-hmm. That's basically what I'm saying. So we are on Married at First Sight, season 16, episode 15, The Rose, or is it the rose in the bidet? The rose, the feather in the bidet, which is not a bad title. Lifetime?
I don't know. I felt like they stretched for that.
You feel like they stretched?
I get it, but I didn't.
I feel like it was a bit basic.
I feel like our title is better.
Hilarious. So, our title is better, huh?
Yeah.
But so let's talk about where we are. A lot of things have happened since we've left off, or whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. And right now, where we are, Dr. Pia, let me put some respect on my girl's name, is coming on through to get these couples together on an intimacy tip. Mm-hmm. And it kind of, obviously the show opens up with Chris and Nicole installing a bidet. Why? I don't know.
It didn't make no sense to me.
I wanted to give a pregnant pause because I wanted y'all to like fill it in for us.
Yeah, it didn't make no sense to me. Like I thought it felt like the theme, especially at that point, was all about like introducing like, sexy stuff and stuff to improve intimacy and all that other stuff. And she's like, yeah, so, she's setting it up. She's setting it up too. That's the other thing. She's setting it up. It would have made me think like, oh, we about to install a swing or some, you know what I mean?
That's what I thought it was.
And she's like, let's put in, an extra toilet, because that's what it is.
Well, bidet is different, though.
It's a toilet.
Okay.
That was it.
It just was like, Nicole overproduces in a way.
Oh, yes.
That is disingenuous. And, like, I want to believe that she believes these things, but I don't.
What you mean?
I often hear Nicole talk in chat. Like, we were talking about how she was having a conversation with Dr. P, and she was talking about, I didn't know how effed up I was, and whatever the case may be. And I literally said to Joe, I don't even believe this.
Yeah.
I literally don't even believe it. Isn't that terrible? This is her experience, and I'm invalidating it.
Because she does give off like,
woe is me.
But also that she's producing every moment of her time on TV.
And it's like, I don't even believe people speak like that. Like, we all have, like, I'm a corporate girly, like straight up senior manager, corporate girly. I do speak a certain way at work and speak a certain way at home, right? So when I hear people speak like so intentional, it feels not real.
Yeah. I feel like she's constantly parading her representative around on the screen.
And I just feel like, is Chris aloof? Like, he has to feel like this doesn't feel genuine.
I think that Chris is not aloof. I think that Chris is a follower. And I think that I think that a lot of times I watch them and it just feels like he's just a chameleon. He's gonna follow her lead. He's gonna like what she likes. He's really, you know what I mean? They was taking the stuff out the box, and I might be jumping a little bit, but this is an example. They was taking the stuff out the box, and she's poo-pooing everything. Oh, this is.
Oh, you are jumping. Wait a minute.
But that's what I mean. This is my example.
And then like, he's poo-pooing it too.
And I'm like, I don't believe that you truly feel like this. I just believe that you notice that she feels like this, and so you're like, yeah, I hate it too. So
let's backpedal, pussy pop. So
can't say that, babe. We trying to be.
I can't say the B word?
No, we trying to.
You're right. Okay. So I don't even say the P word in my real. This is the only time I say the poom poom pop.
Yeah.
So let's go back. So what we're seeing here is that Chris and Nicole were sitting with Dr. Pia, and they're talking about intimacy. And she asked about their sex life and, like, how do you feel about the foreplay, whatever the case may be. Now, Nicole immediately says that she thinks they need more foreplay. Right?
Yeah. It was no hesitation. It was very clear.
No hesitation. It was very clear. She wish it would go on a little bit longer. She feels like they do a little bit of foreplay, and then it's over, right? Very, what the girl call it? Caucasians?
Caucasian sex.
Very Caucasian sex. I didn't say that, and nor did I coin that term.
No, we all know who said it.
A woman of the persuasion.
Yes, she said it. From
okay.
This is now maybe 2 seasons ago.
No, this is like 7, 8 seasons ago.
No, it can't be that long.
It is.
No way.
It is. I'm not BSing you.
Nah. They weren't.
I'm telling you, it's got to be like
her and the ball guy.
Yeah, it's got to be like 7 or 8.
No, that's too long.
So the point I'm trying to make is that she expresses what she needs in front of the Dr. Pia. And then goes on to create this moment like, I just didn't realize how effed up I am. And I literally sat there like, meh.
That's the one time I agree with her, though. You are effed up. Yeah,
Joe agreed, though.
I'm like, I'm proud of you. You're effed up.
She is a self-saboteur. But
she's a self-saboteur.
She says it and it doesn't mean anything. That's why I'm kind of like, what are you getting at? Because you've said this countless amounts of time. Oh, I'm waiting for a day when it's not good. And I'm waiting for why are you waiting for a day when it's not good?
She's always waiting for
How do they even say?
In the midst of her happiness, she's like, I just can't believe sadness is around the corner. Like literally. What is he supposed to do with that? Girl, we're having the greatest
day of our life.
Like, I don't understand. And that's why I agree that when she says she effed up, like, that's why I agree. Like, there's something, we need to dig deeper on that. Uncover this. Bring in the professionals. She needs some solo sessions.
But do y'all, I really want, men, women out there, them days as well, do you all feel like you have experienced a moment where you realize I'm the problem? Like, I'm jacked up. I need help.
I think if you've gone to therapy, there's always, if you're doing it right, there's always a moment of you like, oh, that's my effed up side.
Oh, for sure.
And I feel like that's why I said I'm proud of her, because that felt like a genuine moment. Like, for the first time, I felt like she wasn't producing. Like, oh, you realize like you are self-sabotaging this thing. Like y'all are doing great especially compared to the rest of the couples. Like y'all are doing great. And
I mean, it's very low bar though.
It is.
We're grading on a curve.
Absolutely. But at
I
the
used to
same
get graded
time,
on a curve. Like, this is so random. So hold your thought.
Uh-huh.
When I was in college, my minor is in chemistry. So we used to take organic chemistry class or any chemistry class for that matter, and he would grade on a curve, right? So he would literally air us the fuck out. Cursed! He would literally air us out. Like, do you know what the smartest person in this class got? And then we'd all be sitting there and he'd be like, a 56. And then he would have to grade, like the 56 would be the 100. Yeah. And then we mess around and got a B on the test. Like,
well, that's great.
Right. Do better at teaching. Yeah. Soriano. But
yeah.
Even though I loved them. But I'm sorry, I didn't mean to stop you. We were talking about Chris and Nicole.
I don't remember, but basically all I was getting at is I feel like I feel like they are doing well. For some strangers who met, I feel like they're doing well for, especially compared to the other couples. And it feels like she's constantly looking for problems and issues that aren't there, and that's hard to watch.
Yeah, that's what makes it hard to watch, because it's like she doesn't want them to be great unless they're in front of other people.
Yeah.
Then
everything is perfect.
It's so fascinating.
Side. Yeah, it is.
It's so fascinating. But they get the basket for the foreplay, and then she literally asked for foreplay.
She did.
They provided them a basket full of things to play before.
Yes.
And she poo-pooed everyone. Oh, I don't know about the candle. What if we burn ourselves? You do realize the candle is designed so you won't burn yourself.
It was just. Are you kidding me? Not this.
They literally designed it that way.
No. And he's like, yeah, I agree, babe.
No whips, because y'all are having boring. You're not going to get me to believe. Cool. You're not going to get me to believe that y'all are swinging from chandeliers.
No, they're not. But she said it. She said that basically in a better way. She said we're having boring Caucasian sex.
She quite literally said that.
She's like, we're having it, but it's fine because we love each other and he's great and da 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 da. And so Dr. Pierce said, well, here's how this is what we can do. And she literally just was like, nah, I'm good. Then they had a conversation while they're taking stuff out the box. They had a conversation about how we're good. We don't need this. And he followed her right into that conversation. Yeah, I think you're right. He just went on this diatribe about how having sex doesn't even really matter. What? Y'all just had it. Y'all just talked to the...
In what world? But you know what also is very odd to me? In what world does sex not really matter? And I'm somebody
None
who
of
is
the
like...
worlds that I've seen. I'm talking about the Marvel Universe. I'm talking about America, DC,
Iraq, Russia,
none of the worlds. Metaverse.
Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter. It's like nothing. I do not understand how, like, first of all, it is okay to want a certain level of a sexual experience with your spouse.
1,000%.
Period.
Especially because, let's be real, when you get married, we are committing to be with, depending on the marriage, we are committing to be with each other and only each other till death do us part.
Right.
So the idea that what we doing in the bedroom just doesn't matter is not real life. And that's okay. But you just have to be adult enough. And I want to give them the benefit of the doubt because I feel like they're on TV. And maybe it's hard for them to be fully in their sexual
prowess.
Well, then don't sign up for this because you know that this is a part of it. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, for sure.
It's like when professional athletes and celebrities, bitch and moan about paparazzi and having to do press conferences.
Oh, God.
Like you're only paid this absorbent amounts of money to play basketball, to play football, because of the exposure and all of the quote unquote paparazzi that happens around your sport. You don't get to pick and choose. This comes with it. You wouldn't make $1 million a minute. Some of you
exactly.
You wouldn't make $1 million a minute if you just play ball at the YMCA, which you're free to go do. You're free to go and play.
And then nobody will know you.
Nobody will care. Yep. Nobody will ask you for an interview.
Yep.
I just don't get when people, want to cry about something that is absolutely just a part of the gig. You signed up to be on a television show. Don't sit in the lady face like what you call Gina did there. And say, I don't want to talk about this.
You always jump in the shark.
But it's just, this is multiple people. My point is they've done this. Multiple people have done this on the show, even in this season and in seasons past. And it's just really annoying. Y'all signed up for this.
Y'all signed up for this, and a lot of y'all are big grown. Like, we're talking about, like, the truth of the matter is sex is a large part of the relationship. Finances is a large part of the relationship. Religion. All of these conversations should be had. Nobody's saying that you have to talk about your deepest, darkest fantasies for millions of people to digest. But I do think it's something to have a conversation with your spouse about what you need intimacy-wise.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what's going to get us to feeling more close? Like, so let's dig on into, because I'm tired of Chris and Nicole in a good way. Chris and Nicole, not even in a terrible way. I'm just past it. Let's dig on into Gina and Clint since you brought them up. The truth of the matter is Gina is the problem.
And that's it, and that's all. It's nothing else, y'all.
Gina's the problem.
It's nothing else to talk about. It's no way to finesse this, to twist it. Gina is an issue.
Gina is an issue. She's the
biggest issue in that relationship.
And the truth is Clint got fixed.
Clint got fixed, and I feel bad for him. Let free Clint. Because what's going to happen, I can't wait for the season to be over, because I can't wait to see how many people, former cast members and all of that, shot at Clint because they saw that he is getting fixed and that he is actually a perfect candidate to be a solid husband to somebody who is here for the process 100%.
Because Gina is here for a commercial.
That's it.
And the more I watch this, the more it's ever clear to me. And you guys let me know what you think, or let us know what you think, because we often have these conversations with people, or at least I do, women who, looks is grown. I always tell people, what a man has that doesn't support you in any way really is none of your business. When you're with somebody, it really should be all about, how does this aspect of them affect me? Mm-hmm. What about this aspect of them is going to provide me with more, going to pour into me, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop, right? And what's very clear is that Clint is not ugly, period. He's taller than her. He has money. He got 2 boats. You know what I mean? He's fully secure financially, everything. He got a good personality. He's funny. He's open. He's patient. What about Clint don't you like? Outside of the fact that he called bullshit on what you had to say about him, and you ain't like that.
I think that in reality, she's just not attracted to Clint, and that is the end. That's the period on her personality.
So y'all, I'm gonna have something to say, and y'all are gonna hate me for this, and I don't care. So y'all could tussle in the comments, okay? Because I got real shit to do, and I'm married. And I mean that with all due respect. I know that ain't the goal. I know that ain't the goal for everybody. But the truth of the matter is, I'm saying that I have a successful partnership with somebody. I think, not that I think that women shouldn't be independent. I think it's so important, and I think, it's very important to have your own. It's very important to be in a space where you can really be whole. Because I think when you're financially in a place, you get everything else seems a little bit more clearer to you, or whatever the case may be, right? So that's one part of it. The second part of it is that there's a population of women who, because they are in a certain place financially, are now acting like the men who are in a certain place. Those men, y'all know who I'm talking about, in a certain place financially. Like, I almost feel like she poo-poos him a lot.
She does.
And I'm almost certain he does better than her. Like, I'm not sure.
Oh, I'm
sure.
sure. Yeah.
I'm not sure, but I'm sure. Like, I'm sure. But I feel like the way that she talks to him, like, even when he said, he was doing the thing on the shoulder, and she was like, well, I'm the one who was using my shoulders today. Girl, we get it. You in there got to work hard for the money. We get it. It's a shame he ain't got to do that. Everything for him is a flick of the wrist. It's like, it stresses me out. Who are you in competition with?
It's like
that's what I'm saying.
It's like she's always trying to assert her masculinity.
Yes.
And that's a conversation that a lot of y'all do not want to have. I seen a video of a young lady who basically said that y'all need to stop being so goddamn masculine. And that's
what I'm getting at.
And they tried to kill her. And the fact of the matter is, everything she said was true. And that's what we saying right now. Like, y'all can't want these masculine men, Kirsten, and then want to tussle with them. Not saying that Kirsten wants to tussle, but I'm saying y'all can't want these masculine men and then want to have a ding-a-ling slinging contest with them. And then you're surprised that they're turned off by it.
I don't think
Clint said multiple times. He's spoken about how she has constantly talked about him in a negative way, downplayed him, don't like the way he dressed, don't like the color of his hair, don't like his hair, his hairstyle. You can't possibly think that you can do this to a man and a man is going to see you in an attractive light.
You can't possibly think that. And the truth of the matter is, it's making you ugly.
It is.
I just feel like the more Gina speaks, the uglier she gets.
Yeah.
And I really don't even like to use that word. Like, I'm a big proponent. I think it's beauty in everyone and everything. But when people's personality really starts to come out and it just feels... She has no redeeming qualities. Mm-hmm. And she's starting to look like that thing. Do y'all remember Ghost Rider? And the purple monster from Ghost... I just pulled it up too, Beef.
No.
Look. She ain't starting to look like the bull.
Yeah.
The more she talk, I'm just like, girl, get out of here. Like, this man, and not even that. I really be thinking y'all lying. Like, do y'all really be wanting men or do y'all be wanting women?
or do you just want the idea of having somebody? Because a lot of y'all is living in a fantasy world where y'all want these things and y'all want this person that's not real life. Like a person who thinks, looks, acts, and does everything just like you doesn't exist. That's just you.
That's just, oh my God, babe.
And people
that's a Bible verse. That's just you.
People really just be searching for that.
And it's so, but you know what? Let's take it a step further. Have you met you?
Yeah, that's...
You okay. You know what I mean? A lot of y'all be walking this earth really drinking your own Kool-Aid, which you should. But if you were to interact with you from outside of you would be like, who the fuck is you?
You would literally... I remember the day that I realized... I opened the flower of life and I realized... And I think we had this conversation a long time ago. But I realized why me and my mother bumped heads so much when I was younger. You remember me telling you about this? And do you remember why I said it was?
Because y'all too much alike?
Because we was just alike. Now, in my older self, in retrospect, I'm like, now I could see it and look at it objectively. And I'm like, I was in a relationship with myself and it was terrible. It was terrible. And this is why. Some of y'all have already dated yourself and don't even realize it. And that's the ex that you hate.
And that's... Ooh, you is spilling them today.
It's crazy.
You are spilling them today. And that's exactly it. And I think that the biggest thing I'm trying to get at is like, it is okay in the presence of a man to just be yourself. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times women say, well, if he feel like I'm masculine, then he not masculine enough. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
And you know what? we got to really call it what it is. That's BS.
Yeah.
A lot of times y'all don't make space for people to show up for you, but that's anybody. Freak the energy. You know what I mean? Like it could be anybody, anything trying to help you and show up for you in a way that is supportive. And a lot of times we don't make room for that. And then when we meet somebody who wants to do that, we don't know what to do with our hands.
Chris and what's the name?
Who?
Why am I blanking on her name? We were just talking about
Not
it.
Chris and Nicole.
Nicole, it's nothing wrong with Chris. She does not know she does not know how to handle this relationship.
She don't know how to be happy.
You understand?
A lot of yeah.
It's the same thing.
Creepy.
You know what I mean? It's the same thing.
It's creepy. And like I said, I don't believe that marriage is the goal. I think that it should be companionship and partnership should be what people are, aspiring to. And I think that why do y'all be fighting these people who want to be in your life?
I just think if marriage is not the goal, what is the goal?
Well, we'll insert a pause there. So I also want to talk about how Gina was talking to Dr. Pia, and I really did
disrespectfully.
And I don't know, and it could be because I'm a black professional girly. So sometimes I be feeling like when people talk to you a certain way in your professional space, it be feeling. Is it racial or race?
It feels very racial.
Wait a minute, what's the thing that Marcellus do? Is it?
He's saying it's
is it racial or is it racist?
Yeah. It feels very racial because
it feels racial.
I know me personally. The first place I go to is if I didn't have the pigmentation that I have, would you be talking to me like this? And that's all I saw in that conversation. It was just so distastefully.
But let's talk about the setup, though.
Yeah.
Y'all knew you had a call time with Dr. Pia, the love and sex there. They literally put what she specializes in.
Y'all get a call sheet.
Y'all get a call sheet.
And I know y'all.
So you knew exactly what you would be talking about.
1,000%. What time it was going to be, who it was going to be, the topics, how y'all probably even knew how she was going to go transition into the topics.
So she proceeds to try and have a conversation with you and keep it. The truth is, Dr. P is the one. Because she's the one and not the two. She came in there and said, well, I don't see you working on anything.
And she didn't like that. Gina didn't like that.
Oh, well, what did she call it?
She said, Dr. P specifically said, you can't expect, anything to grow if you don't water it. Gina said, well, we are watering it.
She said you can't be watering it and you don't talk about being intimate or anything like that.
You don't talk about anything. Y'all don't even sleep in the same bedroom. Oh, I'm proud of myself.
Because I almost said funky dog.
Yeah, I did. And I stopped. Okay. I'm tired, so I'm going to let it loose.
But my thing is that's my point. Like, Gina, please. Oh, well, I don't want to talk about, You knew when you came in today, you were talking about sex. You work in a hair salon. Let's keep it a million, bazillion, gazillion, quadrillion. Have any of you ever gotten your hair done? What y'all talking about in a hair salon? Mm-hmm. Stop playing with me. Oh, Neil, you don't want to talk about... Are you kidding me?
But it comes across to me as you don't want to do any work in this relationship.
It's more that.
It's very lazy. It's very I just want to get my stipend until the end of these weeks.
And what did he say? Home. You're not an active participant.
Wow, that was, yeah. And so what you're talking about is the moment in the after party, right?
Yep.
Where Clint is talking about somebody else's relationship.
Yep.
But he specifically uses the words active participant. And it was sharp. It came across so sharp because you knew he was speaking from a place of experience when he said that, because his wife is not an active participant in their marriage. And this is exactly what he was talking about.
She couldn't possibly be an active participant. She's taunting the students on Ghostwriter. Right. She couldn't possibly be. She got other things to do.
Right.
My thing is she is just terrible. I feel like, and I want to say oh, maybe she'll come around. But the truth of the matter is I don't care.
Yeah, because at this point he deserves better. I've seen all I needed to see. I really don't. It's really not much else that I need.
They said they got 2 weeks left.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
I've seen all I needed to see. She was here for a salon, and the truth of the matter is y'all have to vet these people better. Y'all should have known. Oh, the moment she said she was a salon owner, this is just a big old TikTok for her.
Oh, 1,000%. You've seen the way that she's tried to, have her PSA, her commercial.
Oh my God. It's all she talks about.
That's all she talks about. And I'm convinced that whenever we don't hear it, it's because they edited it out.
Oh, yeah.
It's not because this episode didn't say it. It's not because
she didn't say it.
No,
but she did reference it this episode. She said, if I cut your hair, it'll change if this marriage doesn't work out.
You should get your hair cut at 1727 Malcolm Boulevard. You know the salon, y'all. Like I know she said it, and they just was like, we're not doing it.
But how could you possibly? The thing is, though, y'all, when you meet a human, any human, man, woman, they. If you meet a human, you can absolutely be in a space where you influence how they dress.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think Joe influences how I dress, and sometimes he even dresses me, and vice versa. Yeah. You know what I mean?
You could just get more bees with honey.
And you just get more bees with honey.
You over there trying to play him. Oh, you ain't swaggy enough. You ain't this, that, and the third.
You don't think he got swag? No. Bitch, he got a boat. And I know what y'all saying. Like, what do they mean she got a boat? Have y'all ever met a man who had a boat?
My problem is that you're trying to make him be somebody who he's not. We get it. You're not attracted to him. But you're not going to make him into the person that you would
like a bad guy or something.
But you also is trying to make him into being whoever this guy is that you formerly dated. And that's not him.
But she just better be a bad Joan.
Well, in her mind, she's
I mean, we all would be bad if we could get, the fillers, the Juvederm, the Botox, the lips, to this, to that, like, and the extensions. We all would be beautiful.
It don't look like
it's all money.
It don't look like it's doing her much good, though. I'm not going to lie to you.
It doesn't look like it's doing her much good because you cannot... She is a purple slime monster. You cannot just, pump it with fillers and throw extensions in it and call it cute when you're a purple slime monster on the inside.
It's nothing cute about her. Not her personality, not her face, not her physical.
I really want you to insert the purple slime monster so people know what I'm talking about. Because I'm taking it back, y'all. This is a really old show. A lot of y'all might be much younger. So, not to age myself, but...
I think people...
You think people going now?
Yeah.
Okay. That was my show goes right there. But the point I'm trying to make is bye, Gina and Clint. Let's move on to... I want to talk about Eris and Jasmine.
Another non-active participant. Let's go there. Jasmine.
I have such mixed feelings about them.
I got straightforward feelings. I'm so tired of Jasmine crying wolf. And I've been wanting to talk to y'all about this for weeks because I feel like she does this every episode. And it was worse a couple weeks ago. And obviously we didn't get a chance to talk about it here.
Yeah.
But it was worse a couple weeks ago when she sat in front of an expert, pleaded and cried played the victim, was crying her eyes out, had the tissues out, all of this stuff. I want him to do this. I want him to do that. I want him to do this. He gets there. Vulnerable to the point of, tears himself. Then he asked you a question. It was some exercise that they told them to do. He asked you a question and her exact response was, I don't really have anything to say. So fast forward a couple weeks, you sit in front of another professional and tell her, I think it was Dr. Pia, I just feel like, he doesn't give much, or she said something that really described herself. That's really what was so off-putting to me. I watched her give him dust for weeks. He told her about the brother or whatever that was.
Yeah.
Then he came back, told her about the childhood. And every time he does it, he then throws the ball on her court. What about you? And she literally gives him dust every week. And then we get up on this after party and everybody is patting her on the back and passing her tissues like no one's ever going to hold her accountable for showing up in her own marriage. You constantly want your husband to show up, be vulnerable, have these conversations. You're never going to initiate these conversations for some reason.
Maybe we're missing something.
We ain't missing nothing. We're seeing this. We're seeing it in plain sight. And it's this BS thing of not holding people accountable. We do this sexist thing where if he did this, he would be slayed and lambasted across social media. And she gets away with it in the after party. She gets away with it on screen when she's amongst her peers. Like, we've seen this so many times, them have conversations, and she pays him dust for weeks.
I do feel like she doesn't give much.
She is not an active participant.
So this is what I think, though. Do you think that because Eris said initially that he may not have found her attractive, that was an ego shot to her, and I don't think she's been able to since recover from that.
I believe that, but that's a fault of hers, because the fact of the matter is the only time you can really chastise somebody on this show is when they are not giving into the process.
Right.
You don't have to be attracted to the person. You married somebody who you did not know.
Yes. You knew that. That's what you knew. The only thing you knew was that you didn't know.
So you have no legs to stand on when you're upset that your spouse is not attracted to you or vice versa.
Yeah.
Right? The only time, I don't blame you for not being attracted to your spouse. I don't blame you if your spouse is not attracted to you. I don't blame you for having a weird integration of families. You can't control that. What I blame you is when you do not participate in the process. Regardless of what Eris did or said or what kind of sexual exploits he had before he was on the show, Eris is absolutely a part of the process. When they tell him to do an activity, he does it. When they tell him, say this to your wife, he says it. When he talks to her friends and family, and her friends and family say, this is what you should do, this is how you should show up.
But even the fact that he does talk
Even the fact that he does do that tells you that he's a part of the process. And then we sit up there and we listen to these alligator crocodile tears from Jasmine, and we go, oh, she's just tired, and I get it. We get in an after party, and we like, she's not been an active participant for weeks.
Yeah, because I do wonder what are you all going to say when you watch this back, and she just like, I don't know. And I also understand feeling emotionally depleted and you can't say anything. I have been there where I'm just like, this
is going on for weeks though.
But that's what I'm getting at. Like, I don't. This is more of a pattern.
Yeah, you can almost argue that this is from the honeymoon.
And my thing is this: what does she have to lose by just being herself?
Right.
He already don't find you attractive, right? And so he says, right? Because people just be saying stuff. The more I talk to people, the more I just be realizing y'all just be saying whatever. Y'all don't believe the mess y'all saying. Y'all just be talking. You know what I mean? And I think that if he got to know her, he wouldn't still be here if he thought she was an absolute mud duck.
1,000%. And my issue is we see him trying to get to know her.
Yeah.
We've literally heard him say out of his mouth, I know that my physical attraction is not there, so I'm trying to find other ways to connect to make the attraction grow. I've heard him say that.
Right. And I think that's real life.
So you can't be mad at the initial statement, but then not show up when he's showing up to try to find ways for this attraction to grow and try to find these connections and all of this stuff. We talked about it a couple weeks ago where we said, we underestimate how men desire to have conversation with their spouses.
Oh, yes.
You give him dust verbally and are surprised that he's not attracted to you?
Right, because I literally believe a lot of if she had a better personality,
1,000%.
Even I find her a bit
dry.
Paint, you know what I mean, on the walls.
1,000%, literally. And he's actively trying to find. I've had a personal experience. I've dated a woman, which if you put our pictures side by side, you would think there's no way that he has any business with her. Like, respectfully. And this is not to pump myself up or to pump her down. But my point is that it was a personal experience of, I only dated her because her personality was so dope. Yeah. She was not at all my type. She was nothing about her would have said, oh, I could see them together. But that's how.
But you enjoyed her
as a person.
Yes.
You really don't. People really men aren't as see me eat me as society makes them. You know what I'm saying? As society makes them out to be.
Yeah.
If he's actively trying to I wasn't trying to find a way to date her. Right. So if he's trying to.
But you felt like I want to be around this person.
Absolutely.
I enjoy their banter.
Made her more attractive physically. He's trying to find these things in you. He's trying to find the commonalities. He's trying to give you space to be funny and be, and be quick and be slick and all this. He's trying to find this, and your responses are, I don't know. I don't know how to answer that.
But my thing is, what if you weren't attracted to him? What if you weren't attracted to him and he was just giving you dust like this?
You would be pissed.
Imagine you being the one that ain't attractive and then you paying me dust.
Terrible. Imagine how he feels. That is terrible.
Like, you funky dog.
That gotta be one.
And I think Jasmine is an attractive young woman.
To who?
But to me.
Oh, okay.
Not to Eris.
Okay.
But to me, I think she's an attractive young woman, and but I do think that she doesn't. I would be just doing my thing. I'd be busting on him, all that. Like, my thing is like, what you got to lose?
He ain't dogging you out.
Right.
He's trying to. You see him trying to joke with her and play with her, and I mean, he's a part of the process. He's doing what they asked him to do.
Literally.
So you can't see him being an active participant. And she tries to paint it like he just going through the motions. The man was just crying to you about his daddy.
Yeah.
His daddy, his dead brother, whoever it was. Like, I don't remember. But it's like he's constantly going to the deepest places of his mind and emotions to try to elicit a response from you. And it always falls flat on his face. And then you sit in front of experts and go, well, he's not really doing it for me. Like, it's just like...
Because I have to have equal disdain as you have, or else...
Oh. That's deep, babe. I didn't even think...
I have to... You know what I mean? Like, you can't be the only one disappointed. Because the truth of the matter is, y'all, what has Eris done? Somebody explain it to me, because maybe I'm missing it.
That's deep. I didn't even think about it like that.
So, Neil,
like,
you want to make
ego.
it...
This is my frail
it's all ego.
Trying to get some real estate back. Like, oh, now I don't...
Yes.
It makes
because
sense.
What she thought was going to happen is that she was going to act like this, and then he was going to chase her to get and vie for her affection. But the truth is, you haven't laid a foundation for that. Because if you were hip to it, you would have just been really, I'm about to bag you. We ain't even gonna talk about looks no more because I'm about to bag the shit out you. You know what I mean? And then it's gonna be, the tables are gonna turn, and then you're gonna be wanting all my attention and everything. You're gonna be wanting to smell my dirty drawers.
Yeah.
But she not hip like that.
No, and she can't recover.
And she can't recover.
But she's done.
She's face planted, and she showed her cards already.
You did. You should have just went home. If you couldn't.
If you was gonna do all this.
Yeah, if you was gonna do all this, because the fact of the matter is, he didn't call you, Shrek. You know what I mean? He didn't. Y'all had a conversation. You realized that he wasn't initially physically attracted to y'all, and then y'all moved on and your spouse, Jasmine, was an active participant, and you never recovered.
Period.
From that, and that's weak to me.
And that's just, we're gonna leave it at that. So let's move on and talk about, lastly, Shaq and Kirsten. This is really the odd couple to me.
It's funny because they're not an odd couple to me at all. Because I feel like the experts had something here when they paired them, right? But in the beginning, Kirsten couldn't see it at all. Okay. And then she was an active participant.
But guess what he didn't do? Back down. See, this is really just Eris and Jasmine.
In reverse.
He kept being himself, right? You're not going to have any other choice but to love me.
Yep.
Because I'm lovable.
Yep.
You're not going to have any other choice. So I'm gonna continue to do me.
Yep.
And then eventually you won't be vying for my attention.
And she felt, and that's exactly what happened.
Come on, man. What am I?
That's it.
Come on, I'm Mr. Miyagi. Okay. Like, for real. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just think that that's what happened. Like, he just stayed the course and said, I'm not going to allow whatever you say to change who I am.
Yeah. 1,000%. And she fell for him.
And she fell.
She did a
complete, even though I don't know.
I think she did. I feel like she did a complete 180 from.
She did it fast though.
She did.
That's why I feel like I was like, damn, like Did you even really mean what you said? But that's another thing. When I be telling you, people just be saying stuff out their mouth.
Yeah. But I think what happened was, like we just talked about, she had an opportunity to get to know his personality. She was an active participant, as was he, and it drew her closer to him. And that's why we say trust the process.
Exactly.
And that is because 1,000% I believe that Eris and Jasmine, y'all could look at Kirsten and Shaquille and think that could have been y'all, and sense of the closest that they had, and how she did only because she was just a part of the process. They told her to do a game, she did the game.
Yep, she sure did.
They told her, you know what I mean?
She sure did.
And so that's why I think she's done a 180. And now they at this awkward point where it's like she did a 180 and he kind of retracted a little bit.
So it's feeling like very odd. So let's go back one episode or so. You know, they had the conversation about the house buying. Mm-hmm. Did you see that?
Yeah.
And she said, well, I think you should buy me. She's like, no, you should buy the house. Mm-hmm. How did you feel about that transaction?
I felt like because she's set an atmosphere of him constantly feeling like he has to prove himself. Okay. Even the jokes don't land well.
But you thought it was a joke?
She said it was a joke.
Okay. I don't believe it was.
She said it was a joke. And they had a conversation about it.
She did say she was joking.
She said, Shaquille, I was just joking. Like, dude, why don't make this a thing? And I think that because she set such a precedent of him feeling like what she got into today, of him feeling like I constantly got to fight for my love, so I'm tired.
What movie is that from?
Oh, I don't remember.
Do y'all remember?
Got to do with it? I don't know.
Oh God! Never mind. Keep going, y'all. But I don't want to feel ashamed of you.
I think that's what's playing out. Like she, set this atmosphere where she even said a little bit of it. Like she kind of wants him to be her father. And he feels the pressure. So now I can't even joke. If it's a sensitive area, if the area is too sensitive, we can't joke about it, right?
Don't you feel like, and I don't know how you all feel about this, don't you feel like the answer, I just knew, I don't know, I be thinking about what people should say in these moments. Mm-hmm. Like, even if she was joking, I would have just, why do people have an issue with just being honest? Like, listen, do I aspire to purchase a home for you? Yes. But, I might not be able to do that right now. Right now, we got to work together. But there's going to be a time where
Which I feel like that's what he said.
I don't feel like that's what he said at all. Yeah. He literally asked her 3 times.
Not in that conversation.
But that's my point. If that's masculine to me. If I ask you, are you going to buy me a house? Your answer is not going to be, no, we're going to buy a house.
Yeah, I think
that's never going to be your answer. If I say I want a car and I want to bow on it, your answer is you're not going to say we can buy you a car. Right. That's not how you're going to respond, and that's because you lead with masculinity. You lead with being the leader in this relationship, not even with masculinity. I don't want to make it like that, but he is the leader of this relationship. So if I say that those are things that I want, you don't take it as. You take it as like, okay, I want to give you what you want. Mm-hmm. No?
Yes, I do. But I think the difference here is they don't have a positive track record in this area of conversation.
Okay.
So I think that somebody coming from a more solid ground can say these things. They can be received differently. Yeah. It can be lighthearted. It could be a joke. It could be serious and still be fine. And I think they a little screwed up in the deep department. One, because they don't have it seems to me that they don't have the conversations that they should be having.
I agree.
The same way a couple weeks ago or a couple episodes ago, he was talking to Jasmine, and Jasmine said, "Have you met her father?" And he said, "No." And she said, "Does it bother you?" And he said, "No, it doesn't bother me." Whoop. And they kept talking, and she said, "So does it bother you?" And he was like, all right, if I'm honest, it does bother me. Like, and she said
But why y'all be leading with lies?
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I think there's so much of this representative stuff going on. Like, y'all not having these real conversations. Like, you should have told her that it bothered you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So this is what I mean.
You talking about a man I don't even know, which he did say that. You talking about a man I don't even know. And you want me to aspire to be somebody I don't even know.
Who I feel like, and now we know this, we didn't know this at the time, who I feel like you're not really making an effort for us to meet.
Right.
So that's another.
And this is my thing about the whole not making an effort for us to meet. If this such your baby and you believe so much in your baby, it ain't no human.
It's no way. There's not enough work on earth.
If you my baby, you my child, you my this, you my princess, you my this,
and you with a whole
that.
other man who you're married to,
and I don't make an effort to come meet you just so you can see my face.
There's no way.
Whether I have disdain for it or not.
Yeah. That's weird enough.
Odd. But let's get back to this episode. So he goes to Memphis or wherever he go and do something for whatever he doing it for.
Some parent teacher conference.
It is very visible on FaceTime. They are not happy.
At all. He's not happy at all.
She feels fine, but he is pissed.
Yeah.
What was that about?
It was about, we later find out that it was about him wanting her to go. And she basically was setting up to go. And then at the last minute was just like, oh, I'm going to stay here.
But is he like a basketball player? Like, is he doing something fun that I want to be at? Like, what? What do Shaquille do?
But this is the thing about their dynamic that is a part of the turn, right? In the beginning, she didn't even want to be close to him. She wouldn't even kiss this man on the cheek. And now she wants him to be home. And wherever he goes, he wants her to be with her.
Right.
Right? So this is just a missing of missions. This is a missing of signals here. Because she just wants to be around him. She's talked about this for a couple weeks now, about how she just wants attention from Shaquille.
Yeah.
She went from not even wanting to kiss this man.
Literally.
to being like, I want more of you. And he just want to be around her.
Yeah.
Right? So this is something that me and her talked about today. Imagine.
We did talk about this.
Imagine, the conflict here is that it's really no conflict. You know what I mean? They just missing each other. And that's how much they have grown to like each other. I just want you to be with me, even though I'm just at a parent-teacher conference. And she's like, I just want you to be home. And I'm kind of in my feelings because you're not home.
Does he play baseball? Like, why? It ain't like he went to like New York City or like Miami.
Listen.
He's in Memphis.
Wherever he's going.
I don't know where he went.
Wherever he's going to a parent-teacher conference.
He's quite literally going to a parent-teacher conference.
I understand he want her to be. As a man who want my wife to be everywhere with me, no matter what the hell I'm doing, I completely understand.
But at least when I go to whatever you're doing, I get free food and drink.
I don't know.
At the very least.
Yeah, I don't know what she's gonna do.
I'm sitting here like, girl, I get it. Like, why would I want to go? Am I going to have my shoes on the floor at a basketball thing?
I don't even know.
What am I doing here? So I told it. Me and Joe talk about this all the time. How like very rarely do people have the opportunity to go and support their spouses at their jobs.
Right.
I mean, it's rare.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you're a surgeon, it's not like your wife is in the operating room. Like, go do it. That's right, baby. Open them up. You know what I mean? Yeah, like, that's not the case. So when that's why your identity can't be your work.
Yeah. Right.
Does that make sense?
1,000%.
It's gotta be, you have to be more dynamic than that, because yes, you want support in your home, right? That goes without saying. But I think to have the expectation that if I'm working, you there when it's just like weird. Yeah. It's weird to me. You don't feel that way because I'm there and cheering you on at your job, but I
also just understand.
You get where he coming from.
My spouse enough to always want them to be with me. I just understand that. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't need you to do anything. The difference is I don't need to be cheered on. I just want your presence there.
Yeah.
I don't need you to do anything.
But he gives me that he wants.
Which I get that. I get how you get that.
He gives me that he more so wants her to see it so she can affirm him.
And that's the difference.
I don't get that it's from a space of, I enjoy you so much, I'd never want to be apart from you. So we're going to San Diego in 2 weeks.
Right. But maybe it's because we don't get to see them interact enough. Because we don't, and vice versa with Kirsten. Mm-hmm. We really haven't been able to see how Kirsten has fallen so much and so fast.
I can't see it.
You understand what I'm saying?
I've been watching and
right.
I don't know what happened.
Because we're not seeing, they're not filming those. Those parts aren't juicy. Right? We joke about it all the time. When you have a good relationship, it's pretty boring. Like an uneventful relationship, for the most part, is pretty great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I think that they're not going to put those parts where they're bonding and having these great times and great conversations just sitting on the couch.
I love those moments.
But they don't do that. And it's not salacious. It doesn't get the people going. It's not provocative.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I do think that we miss out on those parts and we only see these dramas and these arguments.
Yeah.
And so something had to happen for Kirsten to fall like this.
I agree.
Something had to happen, right?
Because she is in it. When he hung up, let me tell you how I knew. He hung up what I was saying, and she called him
back.
I like that energy.
But that's only
I like that.
That's only energy from somebody
who you feel comfortable with
and who you're invested in.
That's very true, because I tell people all the time, if my husband don't answer the phone, I'm gonna just keep calling until you do. Mm-hmm. I don't give a damn if it's 11 times and then say you called 5,011 times. Mm-hmm. I'm like, yes, I did. I needed to talk to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And won't feel any way about it. So I really did appreciate that she went, forward with that.
1,000%.
But then even him like tying her up and everything after they had that conversation with Dr. Pia. Let me backpedal, poom, poom, pop. Dr. Pia asked this woman. Dr. Pia asked this grown woman, do you think he is masculine?
That was awkward.
And she did. No, she did.
Yeah, it was too long. It was way too long.
The silence was deafening.
It was loud.
It was so loud.
It was loud.
But this is my thing. I think we need another word for masculinity. Why we keep calling it like, I think it's not masculinity she's looking for. I think it's something else. Maybe security. And maybe she aligns security with masculinity. But I think you shouldn't get with a man, any man, whether you call him an alpha male or a beta male, and challenge his because I hate that alpha male thing.
If I ever hear somebody call somebody a beta male, I'm gonna cry.
But you shouldn't. Alpha male is such an asinine thing to say.
He's a beta.
But you're stupid. But she really do become an am like that.
That would be a catastrophe.
She really do become, and I'm just like, y'all. Why do y'all feel the need to challenge people's masculinity like that?
I'm gonna call somebody a beta at some point.
Oh my god,
you're a beta, bro. That would be terrible.
Oh my god.
Terrible.
Babe, pay attention. You're tired.
I'm exhausted.
You're tired.
I am delusional. But I am gonna steal it. I'm gonna just call like one of my stop acting like a little beta.
Oh my god.
Beta ass.
Okay.
It's gonna be hilarious when I do it.
It's gonna be hilarious.
It is.
But really though, what do you get from like trying to? He's obviously a masculine human. You know what I mean? Or leads masculine.
Some people live in the stereotypes, and that's what Dr. Pia was trying to get at. Like, you think that a motherfucker... sorry. God damn it. You think that
we are terrible
a man gotta fix the plumbing to be masculine. And I'm not touching no pipes. I'm gonna call the guy to come do it.
But you do fix stuff. Don't do that.
I do, but there are men who don't. Like, my dad never fixed a goddamn thing in the house, but he was masculine. You know what I mean? So there are men that, you know what I mean? Like, but that Dr. Pia was just trying to say, like, you living in these stereotypes, and this is silly. Also,
so silly.
Also, you can't be looking for your daddy and your husband. And that's a whole nother thing that they got to uncover as a one-on-one session, because a lot of people was doing that. You know what I mean? And so it's just a lot of that, living in that.
I think it's normal. Your father is the first male relationship that you have. So your father is going to teach you how to love, how to be loved. You know what I mean?
It's absolutely
have the foundation for your self-worth. So it makes sense.
It's absolutely a natural occurrence that any therapist worth their salt will tell you to get out of. 1,000%. I've had a personal experience with my own family. Like, and they've been searching for their father in potential spouses. And they will, you know who I'm talking about, but we'll talk off air, obviously.
I don't think, because I'm about to say, I think the other, okay, go ahead.
They have been searching for, and they talked to a professional who told them, like, I think you're looking for your father. Like, it's absolutely understandable. There's no, especially if he was a good father, it's absolutely understandable, but it's absolutely toxic. Like, you cannot do that. You cannot do that. The same way as a man, you can't be looking for your mother. You know what I mean? So it's absolutely understandable how it happens, but it's just not healthy.
But you know what somebody said that I thought was so deep, and this is so random, and we gonna end on this and move on because Kristen and Shaq, God bless them. But somebody said, if your mother wasn't of service to you, would you love her? Because all these men talking about, I just want somebody like my mom. I just want somebody like my mom. If your mom wasn't of service to you, would you have loved her? I'm going to leave y'all with that. Okay. Bust down. I'm Intisar Eleanor. This is my beautiful husband, Joseph. We are back. We're going to get our bearings back together, get back on the good foot. Talking about Married at First Sight, yes. Season 16. Thank you for hanging in there. I know you're tired, my love.
No, we did it.
Thank you guys for hanging in there. Let us know how you felt about this episode. Give us all the tea. We want all the comments. We want all the thoughts. And we'll see you beautiful mother jumpers later.